Hey there, it's John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of This Week in Magic the Gathering. So we have a lot to talk about today. There's another possible Commander 2015 leak. Those spoilers will start within the week or so I'm excited about that. Watch for more of those on the channel, but we do have a possible leak to look at. We also have the results of Grand Prix at Quebec City, and also we're going to look at a little bit of the Star City Games Open, which was Legacy this time. And on top of that, we have January Friday Night Magic promo cards. So having said that, let's jump in. We'll start off with the results of Grand Prix Quebec City, and this was a very interesting top 8. I must say that there's a lot of diversity in this new standard. You're going to see a couple things here. First off, I do want to say congratulations to Daniel Lanthier, who did come in first and win the Grand Prix, and we'll take a look at his deck in a moment. But you're going to see how the top 8 now. Dark Jeskai was prominent and was a pretty prominent deck, especially coming off the success it saw at the Pro Tour. However, even though it was pretty strong, there was a lot of diversity out there. There's a lot of different decks, so we're going to take a look at just what was in the top 8. It will give you a good cross-section of what you can expect from Standard. So we'll start off with the winning deck, and it was a Dark Jeskai deck. This did win, and this is the more controlling build of Dark Jeskai. There's a couple different builds of it out there. We're going to see another build here in a moment in the top 8, but this is the more prominent one. This is the build that John Finkel was running in the Pro Tour, and it can have some pretty swingy turns with the Soulfire Grandmasters. So pretty cool. You can quickly glance here at the deck list. This one's running a Sark and the Dragon Speaker. They're not all running that, but this one is, and it does seem to be versatile in helping to get across damage and control the board a little bit. Of course, Jace is going to be a staple in almost all these decks, if not all of them. And you got your Mantis Riders, Dragon Master Outcast, 2 Soulfire Grandmasters, you got your Taskers, so pretty much very, very similar to what we saw at the Pro Tour. Let's look at the other decks in the top 8. Down here we have an Abzan deck. So this was actually the only Abzan deck that made it, and this actually feels a little different than the classic Abzan decks. This is more like a cross between Abzan and Green-White Megamorph, so it looks a little different. You'll notice here at the list, a little different from what we've been seeing, but Wingmate Rock is, of course, still doing very well. Siege Rhino, 4 of those. Now, this is the only deck in the whole top 8 that is Siege Rhino, so go figure. You had for your Gideon, Ally of Zendikars, and Sorin Solemn Visitors. And then over here on this side, you have Jermoka's Commands, Abzan Charms, Murderous Cuts as your instance. So, pretty cool build. Maybe a little stale for those of you who are a little tired of Abzan, but it was the only one that made it. Let's go up here. We'll take a look at Pascal Mignard's 4-color rally deck. Now, this one I thought was really cool. This is something that kind of adds to the diversity of the metagame. Now, when Battle for Zendikar came out, I just assumed that this was going to be a deck, and I was a little surprised that it took this long for it to really kind of come out and thrive, but I'm really excited to see this in the top 8. Now, first thing you'll notice is there are some similarities between this and the Aristocrats deck that we saw played at the Pro Tour, and simply by similarities you mean there's going to be cards that are going to be draining life, like the Zolport Cutthroat. This was kind of the key card of that deck that we saw at the Pro Tour, so this is still there, but we're using the Collected Company Rally the Ancestors package to really tie this all together, along with Nantuko Husk. So this is the same engine that we saw pre-rotation in the Rally decks, but now it's just getting the extra boost of having allies, and then all these great goes to the graveyard effects, like the Cutthroat, the Sifter, and Terrapex, just stuff like that. It's just a really cool, fun deck, something different, something that'd be fun to try out at Friday Night Magic. Glad to see that this had some success for sure. We'll go up here to the next one, and we have another Dark Jeskai deck. This one, though, is a little different. Now, this is the other build I kind of mentioned, and some similarities: Jace, Dragon Master Outcast, Mantis Rider, but then you also see Pia and Kira Nalaar. You see Sorin, Solemn Visitor. So Treasure Cruises are in this one. This one's a little different. So different type of Dark Jeskai. It plays a little differently than the previous one we looked at, but yeah, this is just another example of some of the diversity. You come up here and we have another Dark Jeskai. Now this is more like the original winning build that we saw with the Grandmasters. And then we have Reed Duke playing Esper Control. Now, Esper Control got a lot of play in the Pro Tour, and it was actually successful in the field, although we didn't really see a big showing of it in the top 8. So it's kind of cool to see this is still hanging around. I think your control players are going to gravitate to this. This is a hard deck to play. It's going to go along with a lot of decision making, but I like this deck. I like this build a whole lot. It's got your Jaces and your Ugins. Then it has things like Arishan Cleric, Painful Truths, Planar Outburst, and then you have kind of your control package with things like Ultimate Price, Clash of Will. I like to see Anticipate in there. I think that's been an underrated card. Negate, Scatter to the Winds. For Ojutai's command, you got Utter Ends in here, so a strong control package. Of course, your Dig Through Times to help you get to what you need. Murderous Cut. Very interesting deck. Again, more diversity to the format. I love it. We'll come up here and we have yet another different deck. This is Red-Green Eldrazi. So this is basically Eldrazi Ramp, and this saw a little bit of play week 1 at the Star City Games Open. It did fairly well, but its deck list is starting to tune itself. It made it to the top 8. That's pretty awesome. It's trying to get Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger out, but it also has things like Dragonlord Atarka that can still win you the game. And then you also have Hangerback Walkers. Hedron Archives are going to help you ramp, along with Sylvan Scrying, Map of the Waste, Nisa's Pilgrimage, and Explosive Vegetation. Pretty cool build. Another cool deck that's different, and I'm really excited about having it in the metagame. And then we have and this is our last one, a Dark Jeskai deck, and this one more like the one that won, almost the same type of build. A few differences, obviously, but same idea and concept. So that's the Grand Prix. Like I said, to sum it up, I really like where this is going. The format seems to be thriving a little more, a lot more diversity than we saw pre-rotation with a lot of the Abzan builds. So this is pretty exciting stuff. Hopefully it continues in that direction, and hopefully Oath will help it get even bigger and better. Quickly, I want to talk a little bit about the Legacy Open that Star City Games held in St. Louis this weekend. The main reason I wanted to bring this up was to look at one particular deck, but first I do want to say congratulations to Tom Ross, who won. Eric Hawkins also had an amazing Storm deck, so in fact won the tournament. Storm came in second, but what was really interesting, in fourth place was a deck, Reliquary Retreat. Let's take a closer look at this deck. The reason I'm bringing it up is because it works on a new combo, Knight of the Reliquary with Retreat to Coral Helm. So when this set came out, there wasn't a whole lot of cards that I think people thought were going to be Eternal format playable. There's some cards that maybe could be Modern playable, but not really Vintage and Legacy. Typically what you're looking for Legacy playables is really cheap spells or really expensive spells that can be cheated out that are very powerful, and so you don't really see either of that in Battle for Zendikar. I mean, you have things like Ulamog, but then there were other options that already exist that are probably better than that, like Grizzlebrand and stuff like that. So it's very odd to find a mid-range card that's strong enough to really make an impact in Legacy. But if it can combo with something, it can happen, and that's pretty cool that this made the top 8. Now, one other thing I'll mention about this tournament, this is the first major tournament that's happened since Dig Through Time was banned. Huge change to the Legacy format. So if you were getting sick of Legacy in the Dig Through Time world, check it out again. It's a very different, and again, you can see great diversity in the top 8. And if you look at these decks, we have an Infect, a Storm, a Temur Delver, the new one we just looked at, Shardless Sultai, Death and Taxes, Miracles, and another Shardless Sultai. So that's pretty cool top 8 as well. Then you go a little farther down, you have lands, you have Imperial Painter, you have Reanimator, you have Punishing Jund. I mean, this is the most, there's Merfolk there a little further down. Sneak Attack made it, Elves, Stoneblade. This is definitely, there's a Sneak and Show, definitely the most diverse Legacy format I've seen in quite some time, and it's really cool to see some of the old decks like Imperial Recruiter coming back that just couldn't function in the world of Dig Through Time. One thing, the Omnitel deck, you'll notice, kind of gone off the map without Dig Through Time. Isn't really strong enough to compete anymore, but very cool Legacy news. So I'm going to be watching this with a lot of interest to see where it goes. All right, so those are the tournament updates. Let's talk a little bit about that Commander leak. So here is the leaked card, and this is an Italian version of Eternal Witness. So first off, let me say this is a leak, not an official spoiler. It hasn't been confirmed or anything like that, and people have pulled off elaborate hoaxes in the past, so take this for what it's worth. But this was found in a pack of Battle for Zendikar, and it's been pretty steady almost every set release that one of the cards seems to slide into a pack of the previous set before it comes out. The Wizard says it's not on purpose. They claim that it is just a miscollation, that they're printing the new set of cards and one ends up sometimes making its way into one of the current booster packs. But some people have the conspiracy theory that they do it on purpose to create buzz and to leak out a card and get some excitement around it. So either way, here it is. And if you're not familiar with Eternal Witness, here's the Modern Masters version of it. It costs 2 green and 1 colorless for a 2/1 human shaman. And when she enters the battlefield, you may return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Great card for Modern, obviously. Definitely has seen some legacy play in the past. It's a creature with regrowth built into it, and I'm kind of thinking maybe this is going to be in the Golgari deck, and perhaps Golgari will do some sort of Delve Graveyard Matters theme, so that might be kind of cool if that's the case. We'll know more soon, as official spoilers will be coming, and every day that there's official spoilers, not sure how Wizards is going to do it yet, but we will be there to report on them for you guys as well. So, since we're talking about cards, let's look at the January Friday Night Magic promo. So, this is the promo update that just came out. We already knew November was going to be Roast, and there's the art for that. December is going to be Anticipate, and of course there's the art for that. Now January is going to be This is Pilgrimage, and pretty cool art on there. I actually like that a lot. It definitely has the Zendikar vibe to it, and yeah, a pretty cool card. So glad to see that as the promo. Actually, I always liked the ability, especially with Spell Mastery for 3. This just seems like a really good card for ramp. So there you have it. So again, just want to thank everybody for watching, and special thanks to my patrons who helped me get a new mic and improve the audio quality, which was desperately needed, as well as new lighting to help with pack openings and stuff like that. So really appreciate you guys and what you've contributed. If you haven't seen our Patreon page yet, definitely check it out. You'll see a link in the next slide. And as always, please remember to like and subscribe. That helps me out a lot too, and have a great day.
Hey, thanks as always for watching. This video, like all my videos, was made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Even a donation of $1 helps me to keep growing this community and creating better quality videos for all of you. Check out our Patreon page for exclusive giveaways and future goals for the channel. If you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the MTG news, spoilers, set reviews, product openings, or finance videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a good day.